Hello, it's been about 5 years, and after several people sent me this meme, which I did make by the way, I looked at the video again that I made when I was doing my bachelor's. After having been bombarded with requests to make more content, I've decided that I will make some more videos that highlight the aspects of chemistry that I think are beautiful. Not a lot of people understand chemistry. It's a lot of work, and the concepts can be abstract and hard to follow. Rules are not always rules, but mere guidelines. It is therefore not a big surprise that not a lot of people end up studying chemistry, let alone understand it. I can confidently say that I do not understand chemistry. I've seen many things that should work, but don't, and I've seen many things that shouldn't work, but do. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone who watched my first video. I never expected a silly little video I made during my freshman year to take off this hard. I've been reading the comments and people really seem to enjoy a straight-to-the-point informative video that talks about the black magic that is organic chemistry. The main point I made in the last video was that you can build the world with chemistry. This is a very interesting thing to think about. Chemistry is the field in the philosophy of nature that explains the world by explaining interactions of matter. I explained in the first video that chemistry kind of works like Lego bricks, with which you can construct anything. And I truly mean anything. Anything that you can touch, smell, or see, you can create with chemistry. If you look deeper into things like crystals or life, you can see that their building blocks are the elements of the periodic table, just in different arrangements and ratios. There comes a point in your study of organic chemistry where you get it. You look outside your window and you have an experience similar to Neo suddenly seeing the Matrix. Let me tell you how this was for me. For me, this point came some years ago, after an especially brutal studying marathon that was entering day 6. When on a cold spring morning I was drinking a cup of hot coffee with sugar and was staring outside my kitchen window. I looked down at the steaming cup of coffee in my hand, and my brain almost automatically started visualizing water molecules leaving the liquid medium to become dissolved in the air, like the animations of molecular interactions I had seen before. I waved my hand through the steam and felt like I was underwater. The empty space my hand was pushing through, changing the direction of the rising steam like a teaspoon swirling water in a cup, not actually pushing through empty space, but air that was full of molecules. I looked at my coffee again and imagined the crystal structure of the sugar being broken up as it was dissolving into my coffee. I giggled and looked outside, and to my horror, I saw the leaves of trees and plants on the surface of which my mind was visualizing photosynthesis, CO2 flowing over the leaf being changed into oxygen, like the steam coming off my coffee cup, dissolving into the air. I blinked my eyes, but I could not unsee it. I walked over to the fireplace. I've always loved looking at fire, especially burning embers. And here too, I saw the flashes of oxidation wash over the embers as the air was reacting with the carbon to release heat, cascading the reaction forward. And where it burned, it produced CO2, where it dimmed the intensity of the burning ember, as wind sweeping over a field of grass, so too were the embers burning wavily. I turned to my dad, who was reading a crime novel on the couch, and said, "Dad, I might have gone insane." This is an example of how chemistry has changed the way I look at the world, infinitely more beautiful than before. Therefore, dear viewer, I now want to change your view of the world a little bit, if it hasn't been touched by chemistry already. Everyone watching probably has heard of photosynthesis. You learn in biology class that this is the chemical process that happens inside the green parts of plants, inside the green granules of the plant, where light gets absorbed and used to liberate carbon from the air. Oxygen is a waste product in this reaction. But why would a plant need carbon? It's right there in the equation, staring at you. To make sugar, of course. But this isn't as clear to most people. You learn this formula in biology class, know that CO2 plus water make sugar and oxygen, but plants are not made out of sugar cubes, so this knowledge doesn't really stick with people. It seems nonsensical and just a thing you learn in school that you don't understand. Let me expand on this a little bit. If you look at the chemical structure of a plant cell, you can see that it's mainly built up of cellulose. And cellulose is a long chain, also called a polymer, of glucose, which is that sugar that's being produced in the formula. So all far and good, but now comes the perspective-changing part of this knowledge. This means that plants do not grow out of the ground. They grow out of the sky. This might sound a bit silly, but it's no less true. A statement like this changes the way we imagine things to be. Plants seem to grow out of the ground, but the building blocks that create these towering trees don't come from the ground and build up, they come from the sky. So now let's take this a step further and imagine that the lemon tree I just described bears a fruit. These lemons contain ascorbic acid, which is commonly more known as vitamin C. So if I take a lemon and extract the vitamin C from it, recrystallize it to obtain 99% pure crystals of ascorbic acid, and compare it to crystals of ascorbic acid I get from building the same molecule out of petroleum products, what would be the difference? Well, there would be no difference actually. The vitamin C I synthesized and the vitamin C I extracted are the same molecule, so its properties, melting point, etc., would be identical. There is, however, one difference. One very small difference by which I could see the difference between this synthetic and this natural vitamin C. This is a very small difference, and you might be surprised to hear its radioactivity. Yes, that radioactivity. One of the two is more radioactive than the other. If we don't think about this and just ask the question, naturally a lot of people would instinctively say the synthetic one would be more radioactive, because radioactivity sounds like a bad thing, and bad things come from laboratories. This, however, would be a mistake. The difference in radioactivity comes from the carbon from which the molecule is made. The vitamin C from the plant is made from CO2 that was pulled out of the air last growing season, while the vitamin C that comes from the lab comes from building blocks which are made from refined oil products, and the carbon inside those have been undergoing many half-lives since it's been chilling out underground for a long time. Now, the amount of radioactivity here, the difference is very little. Insanely little, in fact. But it's enough to make a distinction. And that's the important part. So now that I have explained that compounds like glucose and vitamin C can form in plants, and how they can be identical to synthetic versions, let me explain in this next video the process of the production of cocaine, through the common method that starts with the plant, how cocaine actually works inside your body, and how we could entirely forgo the burning of patches of jungle by producing cocaine synthetically on factory scale from petroleum products. I'll talk a little bit about retrosynthesis and discuss some different routes you could synthetically walk towards making cocaine. So I hope, dear viewer, to see you next time. The second video was very difficult to make. I wanted to keep within the same theme while also providing an interesting lesson for my viewers to learn. I'm also strongly aware that my first video isn't perfect and contains some errors. I'm embarrassed to say, however, that I won't be taking the first video down to make a correction, because I want to look at that big number and feel good about myself. I will, however, remake the first video when I have more time. So I have been thinking about how I could improve these videos, and I would like to do something with the feedback that I saw in some of the comments. Lots of comments are lovely, by the way. Thank you so much. So I've come up with the following. If you want to leave a comment suggesting a topic for a next video, or ask a specific question, or give me feedback on this video, please post the corresponding symbol that I'm showing you here into your comments. Then I can more easily search all the comments under this video, and you guys' feedback will reach me. I have seen some of you suggest that I should make a Patreon. I am not at that stage yet. I'm just making funny chemistry videos. So your support is duly noted, and I'm very happy that you guys are liking these videos. The best way to support me right now is to just share this thing around. You can make memes out of it. I don't really mind. Yeah, thank you so much. And now for a short update. When I made the last video, I was at the end of my first year of bachelor studies in organic chemistry. And after 4 years of classes and internships that took me from my small town to the big city, and then beyond to the oriental shores of the Japans, the beautiful city of Kyoto, I graduated. And since I was convinced that I didn't understand chemistry well enough, I enrolled in a master's program. Then the corona pandemic hit, I continued to follow classes and did my laboratory internship, and after 2.5 years, I graduated this too. So here I stand before you, dear viewer, and I can confidently tell you that I still do not understand chemistry. And while I was dreaming up the next video that I was going to make while working as a teacher's assistant, something interesting happened. Yes? A doctorate? Right, yes. Synthetic methodology. Yeah, that would be very interesting. Who wants me?
The European Union? I accept. Yes. Wait, where are they actually sending me?